When you read Ephesians 5, something in you rises up, doesn't it? Ladies, when you hear the Bible talking to you about, honoring your husband as you would Jesus, and men, when you hear about laying your life down for your wife, there's something that rises up. That's your sin nature. What doesn't like Ephesians 5 is your sin nature. Let me say, if your sin nature is not crucified, it will destroy your marriage and every relationship in your life. You will never have a successful relationship until you do something about your sin nature, and Ephesians 5 is what crucifies your sin nature. Let me talk about this for just a minute. Now, Ephesians 5 talks differently to women than it does men. And the reason is because in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve sinned, they sinned in different ways. They didn't sin the same way. Now, we all have the same sin nature of rebellion against God and independence. But let me talk for just a minute about the difference between men and women as it relates to the way they fell and their sin nature. And I'm going to start with women, but women, don't get mad at me now, because I'm going to get to the men here in just a minute. I'm an equal opportunity in this, okay? Everybody will be mad when I'm finished. So Adam and Eve were standing there, and the devil came up to Eve. And he began to tempt her. And he said, has God said? That's the first thing he said. Has God said that you can't eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden or touch it? And so Eve begins this conversation with the devil about this forbidden fruit, okay? And he says, no, you won't. She said, well, if we eat it, we'll die. And he said, no, you surely will not die. And they're having this conversation. See, her husband's standing right there. The reason we know that he's standing right there is she ate the fruit and handed it to him. And God was about to walk up. They were in the garden. God lived with them in the garden. And it was the cool of the day. And we know that God was about to walk up because as soon as they ate of it, he walked up. It was his time to walk up. So in other words, all Eve had to do was slow down just a minute, turn to Adam and say, Adam, honey, this serpent here is trying to tell me to do something wrong. Honey, should I do that? And for them then to say, well, okay, well, let's just wait and talk to God. Hey, serpent, God's about to show up. And we'll just talk to him about this because you're mouthing about him, and we'll just sit here and talk to him. Eve never talked to Adam and never waited on God. The sin of women relationally is independence and think they know everything. You think you have within you what you need to act. And I love women. Women are relational, and if it wasn't for women, nobody ever would come to marriage counseling. Women fight for marriages, but women have a tendency to think they know it all, and they don't need to talk to their husbands or listen to their husbands. Because he's not spiritual enough, he doesn't know what you know, blah, 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 like that. Okay, well, so women are mad. Let me make the men mad now. So Adam's over here, and Eve's sitting over there talking to a serpent. God commanded Adam to take dominion over every creeping thing that crept on the earth. And that word dominion is a violent word. It means to subjugate by force. What God was doing when he gave him that commandment was warning him, Satan will come and try to undo what I've done. And you will have to subjugate by force anything that he tries to infiltrate to take away what I've given to you, this paradise I've given to you. So Adam is standing right there in a creeping thing that he's been commanded to take dominion over. A creeping thing creeps up and begins to speak to his wife about rebelling against God. And here's what Adam did about it. ESPN, Eden Sports Network. He was a tuned out guy. Men, passivity, checked out to lunch. This is how the devil destroys marriages. This is our sin nature. The wife is over here. The devil is talking to her. She thinks that he's a jerk. He doesn't know anything. Why should I talk to him? Why should I submit to him? Why should I listen to him? And I've got it all figured out. Me and God got a good thing going. And she's over here doing what she's doing, and she's not connected to the man that she needs to be connected with, because she has a lot, but he has something. She has half the brain. He has half the brain. Together they have the whole brain. But she's incomplete without him, and that's why they're together. He's sitting over here checked out to lunch, not doing anything about the kids, not doing anything about the finances, not praying, not taking you to church, not doing all that. He's over here disobedient to God. That's our sin nature. And so Ephesians 5 comes in, and here's what it does. It comes to independent women. It puts one more layer of accountability on you, and it says, slow down, treat him just like you would Jesus. In other words, don't make decisions without him. Don't disrespect his input. Doesn't mean he's always right. Slow down. Don't disrespect your husband. You treat his counsel and you're in his input the way you would the Lord's. You be careful about it. Now, you don't sin. If your husband tells you to sin, don't sin. If he wants to do something destructive, don't do it. But you respect him as you would the Lord. And don't let the devil talk you into the fact that you and all your girlfriends got all the good ideas. And you don't need a man. To men, Ephesians 5 says, you love your wife just like Jesus loves the church. You sacrifice your life for her. And you nourish and you cherish her just the way you would your own body. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but he nourishes and cherishes it, just like the Lord does the church. It says twice as much to men as he says to women. He comes to passive men and puts an extra layer of responsibility on them, an extra layer of accountability on independent women, an extra layer of responsibility on passive out-to-lunch men. And if we'll let it, it'll fix both of us.
Thank you for joining us. Experience the life-changing series, The Indestructible Marriage, on CD or DVD. Marriage Today's latest book, Happy, Happy Love, will supercharge your marriage with practical tips, wisdom, and inspiration for every stage of marriage. Visit happylovebook.com. Become a rock-solid partner today and equip yourself with the tools you need for a successful marriage. $14, $28, or $56 per month. Choose the partnership level that's right for you. Become a rock-solid partner today.